Yesterday I dropped a teaser asking which one of these two dive watches perform best underwater. Hundreds of you guys commented, and a lot of you guys said Omega. And it makes sense. It's the more expensive watch, it's the more recognizable name, and a lot of you guys were saying it's the real dive watch in that lineup. And here's what actually happened when I took both of these to work last week. Surprisingly, a lot of you guys were interested in my job, and a lot of you asked what a commercial diver was. And a quick version, I've been a commercial diver doing underground construction mostly for more than 12 years now. So like I said, mostly underwater construction, doing a lot of underwater welding, cutting, demoing, and pretty much building things underwater. So basically doing construction that you would do above water, basically below the water. So a couple things I would work on would be like bridge supports, ship hulls, pipelines, oil rigs, and that kind of stuff. So this is not recreational diving. It's a job site just underwater. So for work, we do use dive computers, and nowadays that's not really what these watches are for. So I bring a mechanical watch with me to work as a backup timer. And honestly, I bring these to work because I love watches. So when I say I tested these underwater, I mean I actually wore these to actual jobs. So during this testing, I made sure it was the same depth, same conditions, both on their stock bracelets to make sure it was fair. Let's talk about the Omega first, because this is where it lost me. The scallop bezel above water isn't the best, but it's doable. And I do love how the scallop bezel looks. It's definitely a part of the Omega Seamaster Professional 300M. Underwater, you could turn the bezel, but it does take a lot of effort. And because of that, it's not precise. When timing your oxygen underwater, you need the bezel to be precise. It shouldn't be hard to turn the bezel, especially when you're dealing with oxygen and your life. And why does this matter? On a dive, the bezel is tracking the most important thing. It is tracking your oxygen. So for example, if I'm running a 30-minute or an hour job going underwater, I'm setting the bezel to track the elapsed time. And if I have to wrestle with a diver to even move it 5 minutes, I'm wasting attention I should be putting on my work. Now for the HydroConquest bezel. The bezel is tactile, it clicks with authority. With my scuba gloves on, it moves easily and it moves exactly where I want it to go. In the water, out of the water, you get that same precision. If you watch my bezel video a few videos back, I did a comparison with a bunch of watches, and the Longines HydroConquest won the bezel battle, compared to watches that are double, triple, 4 times the price. The bezel action isn't just good, it is top tier. Strike 2 on the Omega is the bracelet. Now, before everyone gets mad at me, I love the Omega Seamaster Professional 300M bracelet, and I know a lot of people don't like it. I prefer using this bracelet over the rubber strap. I love how it looks. I love how it's unique to the Omega Seamaster. But underwater at a job site, it is not ideal. I know a lot of you know this already, but this is a chunky bracelet, but it does have that signature look. Definitely feels premium, but underwater, working a full shift, it doesn't have any taper. And honestly, by hour 3 on the job, you are definitely feeling it. Now for the HydroConquest H-Link bracelet. On the job site underwater, extremely comfortable all day. Very nice taper to it. Definitely feels high quality. It is lighter and definitely feels more flexible. It feels like it's designed for someone that's actually using it as a tool, not just wearing it to dinner. It's definitely one of the best I ever used underwater. And yes, before someone says it, if you put the Omega Seamaster Professional on the rubber strap, it does fix that bracelet issue. I dove with this watch dozens of times with the rubber strap, and it makes this watch 10 times more comfortable than the bracelet. The rubber strap definitely fixes that one problem, but the bezel is definitely still an issue for me underwater. I'm not going to pretend the Omega lost everything, because it is not a bad watch whatsoever. The lume is phenomenal. It is definitely better than the HydroConquest, especially after a few hours. Both watches were perfectly legible underwater, no issue. But if I'm being honest, the Omega's lume holds stronger. I still love my Omega. This is my 4th variation of this watch. But the thing is, this generation has been out for a long time now. And after diving with this watch for years and using this the last week, comparing it to the HydroConquest, I honestly think it's time for Omega to update this model. I'm glad they came out with a mesh bracelet. I'm looking for a full rehaul, a new generation, a fully new Omega Seamaster Professional 300M. The bezel mechanism and the bracelet design, at this point in 2026, feel a generation behind. And now we have Longines doing this at 1/3 of the price. But to be fair, I put these both on the bracelet, but even with the Omega Seamaster Professional on the rubber strap, it still has the issue with this bezel. There was one thing I wanted to address. A lot of you guys were asking about the accuracy. Honestly, both these watches passed the test. I had nothing to worry about this whole week. For a separate video, I've been running an accuracy test for 6 watches over a 7-day period. And that video will be coming out soon. And I'll give you guys a quick sneak peek of these 2 watches. After 7 days, the Omega was plus 8 seconds. The HydroConquest was plus 10 seconds. Both well within spec, but more accurate than most people will ever need. The full test with my other watches will be dropping next week. Subscribe so you don't miss it. So which one of these watches won underwater? For me, on the job, it is the Longines HydroConquest. Better bezel, more comfortable bracelet, easier to actually use as a tool. The Omega Seamaster is the more expensive watch, definitely a more recognizable name, but on a 12-hour shift underwater, I'm definitely reaching for the Longines. Out of the water though, that is a completely different conversation. The Omega still has that beautiful ceramic wave dial, the brand prestige, the wrist presence, and I absolutely love this bracelet on the Omega Seamaster. I know a lot of people don't like it, but for me, it really is a staple of this watch. Keep in mind, I am biased. I've been a fan of the Omega Seamaster Professional for so many years now. I've been an Omega fanboy for a very, very long time. For dinner, for daily wear, for a watch you grab when you want to feel something on your wrist, the Omega wins every time for me. But for a watch you actually use and it looks this good, definitely the HydroConquest. $4,500 cheaper, you're getting so much watch, and it is built for the job. So if you guessed HydroConquest in the comments in yesterday's video, you were correct. But if you guessed the Omega, I completely get it. With it being $4,500 more and being known as being a phenomenal dive watch, I would have guessed the Omega too, but the HydroConquest is definitely punching above its weight class. Would you pick differently now? And what watches would you want me to test in the future? I'm always wearing something new to work. Keep an eye out for the accuracy test video. It'll be releasing sometime next week. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave a comment down below what watch you thought was gonna win this underwater battle. Honestly, the HydroConquest, like I said, is punching way above its weight class. Yes, the Omega has the better movement with a METAS certification. And you get that beautiful 8800 movement you can see with that display case back. But with the HydroConquest, after tracking the accuracy after 7 days, this was only plus 2 seconds more than the Omega Seamaster. I honestly love both watches, and you can't go wrong with either of these. And again, thank you guys all for watching today's video today, and anyone that's supporting the channel. And remember to stay humble.